and welcome back to my channel. So as you may have noticed, this is not my usual microphone. My usual one is right here. This is my third Blue Yeti microphone that has just completely just stopped. I am ordering a new one, but I did not want to go so long without uploading for you. We have reached 1,000 subscribers on this channel. I am so excited about this. This is just huge for me. May not be huge for others, but it is for me. And I am so grateful that you have stopped by and that you have chose to stick around and hang out with me. So, to kind of like feel out how I like this microphone, I wanted to do a book. All the books I've read since probably August, and just go over the ones I loved, the tandem read that I'm doing right now, and just keep it easy and light this time. I'm not sure about the audio and if I will like it enough to do my true crime ASMR series. We're just gonna see how this goes. This microphone does not give me the option to listen as well, so that kind of changes a lot. I used to always complain about having the headphones in my ears for the Blue Yeti, but it is nice to be able to hear some of the things that you can't hear just without. So, I have ordered another microphone. Should be here by the end of the week, but I do like to have my true crimes at least once a week, and that will be putting us back by a little bit. But let's get into it. I have my coffee, which has peppermint bark creamer. Love this time of year. Yeah. So we're going to start with the smut. Let's just be frank here. These books are dark romance, and then we will get into the fantasy tandem read that I am doing at this time. So, first, The Never King. Now, this is by Nikki St. Crow, and it says, the stories were all wrong. Hook was never the villain. Now, this is only the first book. It's very small. It only has, I think, 196 pages. And in this one so far, there's the Never King, the dark one, and there is more after the publishing of this book. Never, Never Let Him Take You. This is about Peter Pan. This is a different take on it, obviously. The Never King is a dark retelling of Peter and Wendy. If you like your enemies to lovers romance with hot, ruthless, morally gray love interests, you'll enjoy The Never King and the Lost Boys. You can expect hate, kissing, fighting, bickering, and touch her and I'll kill you vibes. While The Never King is inspired by Peter and Wendy, it is for 18 and up readers only. Now, this book was good. I did rate it 4 out of 5. I did enjoy the storytelling. I love Peter Pan. If you have any suggestions on Peter Pan, put them below. I love the folklore with that. I don't like that they made Peter so evil, but they did. It's kind of unfortunate. I hate flies, by the way, so I'll put that there. So in this, the Darling Women, on their 18th birthday, and all the daughters of the Darling Women, they get taken on their 18th birthday by Peter. Peter is he a good-looking man in this, as if he wasn't before. I'm not going to tell too much, but it is kind of a reverse harem. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It is one woman and multiple men that are interested in her. And I did enjoy it. A lot of reverse harems I'm not too fond of, like the Court of the Vampire Queen, because I feel like the storyline kind of gets lost. But in this book, it did not, and I really enjoyed it. So, next, 5 out of 5. Hooked. This is another Peter and Wendy switch, and I love this book. It does make Peter Pan the villain again, but I did not mind it. James has always had one agenda: destroy his enemy, Peter Michaels. When Peter's 20-year-old daughter, Wendy, shows up in James's bar, he sees his way in, seduce the girl, and use her for his revenge. It's the perfect plan until things in James' organization begin to crumble. Suddenly, he has to find the traitor in his midst. And his plan for revenge gets murkier as James starts to see Wendy as more than just a pawn in his game. So, in this book, we have and I did not realize in the back it has character profiles, which is very nice. There are about 319 pages in this book. And in this book, Wendy is the daughter of Peter Michaels, who has a airplane company, and I think it's called Right On Till Morning is what it's called. And Peter is her father, and her mother has died, and she has a little brother, and they barely ever get to see him. And Wendy, even though being a billionaire's daughter, she chooses to work, and she uses her time to protect her little brother from feeling the way that her father has made her feel. She does meet James Barry, or what they call him is Hook, in his bar. There are a lot of things that I can't really tell you because I know I will spoil this book, and I don't want to. I want to have you guys be fascinated and want to read. And this is one book that this is a romance. It has dark romance properties, and the storyline does not get lost. It is just, the storyline makes this book. There are so many just mind-blowing turns and bumps in this book that I know that you will love. this is one of my favorite books, honestly. I did not expect to love this book so much, but Emily McIntyre, whoever, did an amazing job. I have not read these other books in her series. It's called the Never After series. There's Scarred and Wretched, and these are all twists on our childhood fairy tales that are just so yummy. So I highly suggest this book. Now, this is going to be my least favorite of all the books I've read. So up next is Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. Now, this was not my favorite book at all. I feel like we all went on this binge of H.D. Carlton's works, and I think, although I love her books, do not get me wrong, the Hunting Adeline series, Haunting Adeline was my favorite. The second book, Hunting Adeline, was a little bit too heavy for me. I think it's important to talk about things that are heavy, but I feel like there's so many things that this author had missed. And this is another book where I just feel that same way. I got to about chapter 24, and then I literally just had to listen to it because I could not force myself to read it. I don't like the main character. I can't even really remember her name. This book had good components, which I will always say about H.D. Carlton. She has wonderful components, but she doesn't finish them. Like in Haunting Adeline, we had a haunted mansion, basically, and we never really touched on that. A lot of components in these people's lives that we don't really know much about, and I want to know more. This is another book where the background of this main character, this woman, was just a mess. There's a lot going on, and then she meets Enzo Vitali, who is an Italian deep sea. He works with sharks, and as you can tell, I just really wasn't into this book. They end up stranded on an island with this lighthouse here, and there's this really creepy man who killed his whole family, really. That's the vibe that you get. And there's ghosts there too, and we just don't... A lot of things that needed to be emphasized on. And I just... It wasn't a good time. I like men who are mean, that love their women, but if they're just mean to their women, I mean, like, you can bully me all you want, but it's not really worth it if you're making me cry every single day. And that's what he does to this girl. It's an enemies to lovers, obviously. I think that maybe it just wasn't for me. But that is, Does It Hurt? So, let's get to the good stuff, okay? So, I'm on my Sarah J. Maas tandem read, and I'm so excited. I had read A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury prior. I have read all of The Throne of Glass up to, not all, up to Empire of Shadows, which I do plan on reading all of that as well. But this tandem read is something that I needed. And if you have struggled with your Sarah J. Maas homework, I do suggest having a reread and diving into this world again. I will be one of the very few that will say that I did not enjoy ACOTAR prior to this tandem read. I will binge something and then kind of ruin it for myself because I'm like forcing myself to read and get it done, and that's not the point of reading. You're supposed to dive in and enjoy the ride. So I started by reading Crescent City. This is a big book, so worth it. This is one of my favorite books and series that she has written, which is very big for me because Throne of Glass is like, that is my comfort read. I love Throne of Glass so much. And this, it beat it. It really did. There's a lot that I have to watch myself with talking about these books because this book is a roller coaster of changes, of heartbreak, of sadness, of just, it is action-packed from every single page. I did not get bored with this book. This world that she created for this book is amazing and such a pleasure to dive into. Crescent City. Half fae, half human, Bryce Quinlan loves her life. Every night is a party, and Bryce is going to savor all the pleasures Lunathion, also known as Crescent City, has to offer. But then, a brutal murder shakes the very foundations of the city, and Bryce's world comes crashing down. Now, this world has vampires, it has angels, it has demons, it has witches, it has werewolves, it has everything that us fantasy women love all in one, and it is blended so beautifully. And the ending, like these last couple chapters, like this right here, oh my god. You will say that often in this book because Sarah J. Maas is not scared to kill off your favorite character, to make your favorite character just turn into an evil person. She's not afraid to push the limits of these characters. So none of your characters are safe. This book is another, I know that I'm in for it. I love all of the characters. I love Bryce and I love Hunt. This is a really good book and I highly recommend it to you. But after reading this, you cannot allegedly read the second book, which I do have. It's right there, that blue right there. That's the second book. You cannot read the second book without reading the other universes because they collide, and we love a collision of worlds. So I have read all of Throne of Glass so many times that I did not think that I needed to jump into that. Everyone has said that you are supposed to read all of ACOTAR to about Mist and Fury. No, to Court of Wings and Ruin, and then go into Throne of Glass, read it all, and then go to the last books of A Court of Thorns and Roses, and then you're supposed to hit Crescent City. Which, by the time that I'm done with all this, I probably will end up rereading Crescent City. The third book is coming out in January. Probably won't be done by then, but we will try. So, I have reread these two books. I am currently on A Court of Wings and Ruin, and I will tell you that the reread of these books, I highly recommend. A lot of these books you should reread because there are so many things that you have missed, and that I missed in A Court of Thorns and Roses. I was one of the many who loved Tamlin, and this is so bad. I did not like Rhysand at all. And I feel so bad because he does, now that I'm rereading, I have like fallen in love with this man. But I just did not like him at first, and I just didn't get it. I did not like Feyre. I thought she was so rude to Lucian. I love Lucian. That will never change. I think Lucian is one of those characters that just been battered, and he's just trying to find where he belongs. And I know that the road for Lucian is so long, and we still don't even know. And it just breaks my heart. But rereading has done me so much good. I really enjoyed it, and this book is so battered. We have a gift coming in, and I will be unboxing that with you guys. But I highly suggest when you are reading these books, because they are literally, there's so much to them. I read them and I listen to them at work, and I reread what I listen to, and I highlight, and I'm writing my notes. And this author, Sarah J. Maas, does so much and puts so much into all of these chapters and these stories that I highly recommend it, because it's like a treasure hunt, really. It's a very good time. So, I loved Tamlin in this book. By the end of the book, I still loved him, as I always did. And then we get to A Court of Mist and Fury. I hate him. I do not like him. There goes my kitty down the stairs. The amount of power that Rhysand has, and the amount of love and care that he has for humanity and the Fae and his people, I missed, I guess. I think I was just not paying attention, because if you really pay attention to these books, and this book specifically, this whole bulk right here, it breaks down everything, and it breaks down the amount of trauma and the way that trauma affects people, and how Tamlin really just left the main character, Feyre, to be in this hollow and dark world by herself, because he just was unable to communicate, didn't want to. She had went under the mountain and saved his ass, while Rhysand was doing everything to keep her alive. And at that point, he did not realize certain things. And he does all these things out of just wanting her to survive. He has seen these components in her that have just reminded him of what this, like, the just motivation to live, which he had lost. Hadn't really lost, but he had just, it wasn't the same anymore. And she had really rejuvenated him in that light that was inside him. I just really suggest these books. I think as a adult, I am 26 years old. These books have reignited my love for books and fantasy, and it's just such a pleasure to read. I really highly suggest these books. In a world that we live in today, reading is definitely, I think, a must, because it gives you a world to kind of dive into, and these characters are just so loving, and I wish I knew these people in real life. But I've come to tell my boyfriend quite often that he is my Rhysand. And that makes sense because I didn't like him at first either. So, that is our tandem read. I will let you guys know about future books that I read. Obviously all those are 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. And I'm currently on A Court of Wings and Ruin. So, that is today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope this audio is not too terrible. And